Very good morning everyone. So welcome to the 24th class on this current ed sessions or current affairs for prelims 2023. So in last class what we have done, we have in detail discussed the different ecosystem, different biomes that is present across India and how you can associate the ecosystem with what kind of species are existing there. Now in this class we are starting with different species that has been in use for last 1.5 years. Now what I expect from you is when you are going through every these species, most of the content is highly factual. You have to go through this material at least 3 times before prelims if you have to remember. Some species came in the exam, you have to answer that with confidence, you have to go through this, read this material at least 3 times. Beyond that, whenever we are speaking or discussing one species, keep in mind or connect with the basic characteristics of the species, which location this species is found and what kind of characteristic you can find in this. Whatever we discussed in last class, try to apply this on different species which we are discussing on. Okay? Let's move ahead. The first species for discussion is, first we are starting with mainly the tropical rainforest species. Now even we give the heading like tropical rainforest species, many of these species will have distribution across tropical rainforest as well as deciduous forest. So there will be like some kind of clash between these, but mostly we are focusing on tropical rainforest species for starting. Start with Royal Bengal tiger. Where we find this? Which is the most famous areas you find this Royal Bengal tiger? Sundarbans. What is Sundarbans? Mangrove forest in which state? Mostly in West Bengal. Now what kind of forest is mangrove forest? What is speciality of mangrove forest? These are plants which can grow in water. These have high resistivity to this water salinity. So this kind of thick forest, it's evergreen forest, and in this forest this Royal Bengal tiger thrives. So what characteristics you can associate with this Bengal tiger if you know it is from Sundarbans? One major thing is there is water, these plants are in water. So the prey of this Royal Bengal tiger may not be always deer or these kind of animals we normally expect. There will be animals which in the water also. So the Royal Bengal tiger is one of the best swimmers of the species. Why it is swimmers? Because their ecosystem is this mangrove forest. Mangrove forests are areas which submerge under the water and still the forest can live. This kind of ecosystem is mangrove ecosystem. Now, why we are discussing this? So many news around of this Bengal tiger is in news. One news is Bandipur, recent news within last 2 weeks. Bandipur completed 50 years as Project Tiger Reserve. Project Tiger, when it started? 1973. So 2023, it's 50 years after the Project Tiger has begun. So there is high chance some question can come from Project Tiger. What are special characteristics of Project Tiger? Central sponsored or sector scheme? Sponsored scheme. Mainly the XYZ conservative figure conservation is done according to the Wildlife Protection Act. Higher level of protection is given to the status and dedicated projects has been developed under this Project Tiger initiative. Every tiger has a distinct stripped pattern. This is the stripped pattern you can see, and like fingerprint of humans, every tiger has a distinct strips. And there was a question in UPSC also this. What it was? M strips. M stripes are related to. What is M stripes? When you took at the count of these species, there are different ways of taking the count. One is by looking at their footprint, and you find how much tigers are there. You collect the footprint for a long area, then you extrapolate for the whole forest and all. Another is by looking at the cameras and looking at the M stripes. And if you put the cameras in the forest in different places, then you take the M stripes of the tigers and then you identify how much number of tigers. Another method is, more efficient method is taking the DNA of this. We already discussed a question in the Saturday classes, environmental DNA. Environmental DNA means some animal is there, it will be living in this area, means there will be some hair, some nails, some part of these animals that will already have fallen in this area. So we collect these DNAs from this animal DNAs from an area, then do the analysis and find how much species are existing in this. It also helps in finding the species biodiversity also in these particular regions. Now tigers mostly hunt during the night time. They have a lifetime of 10 to 15 years. Now where it is mostly found in Sundarbans in India. But Sundarbans is not the only region where you find the tigers. In Madhya Pradesh, it is found in Kanha National Park, Bandhavgarh National Park, Pench National Park, all these areas it is found. Maharashtra, Pench National Park, it is found. Rajasthan, Ranthambore Tiger Reserve, it is found. Uttarakhand, Jim Corbett National Park, Karnataka, Bandipur National Park, and highest number of tigers are in Madhya Pradesh. Tiger census 2019, we nearly have 3,000 tigers. Just less than 3,000 tigers, and this is a 75% of total tiger population in the world. And even in this, if you look at this, it is not written here, we have over the years increased the tiger population. In 1980s, we have lesser tiger population. With Project Tiger and all other conservation initiatives, we have considerably increased the tiger population to nearly 3,000 right now. Other countries are also, it is not endemic to India. Bangladesh, Nepal and Bhutan are also part of it. Whenever you see Sundarbans, if any species is in the Sundarbans, a major part of Sundarbans is in Bangladesh also. So that species will probably there in Bangladesh also. Then eastern, northeast we discussed. One peculiar thing you have to note about northeast is, northeast has, except from desert, every other ecosystem is there in northeast. From alpine tundra to grasslands in Assam, to deciduous forest in some part of northeast, to this tropical rainforest in major part of it. So every kind of ecosystem, that is the whole range of ecosystem is coming in the northeast. So that's also add to the species diversity in the northeast. Its IUCN status is endangered. CITES is having a, what is it? It is Appendix 1, not Schedule 1. It is Appendix 1 species. And Wildlife Protection Act, it is given highest level of protection as Schedule 1 species. Now let's discuss what is white tiger. It is all same tiger, but it will have caused by a lack of pigment called pheomelanin. Then its color, this yellow color changes into white, so we call it as white tiger. Rest all this, it is found in Bandhavgarh National Park in Madhya Pradesh. Rest all the characteristics are also same. Just everything is, it is a part of tiger also. Due to this lack of this, it becomes white. Rest it is a tiger only. Now we also have this golden tiger that is also being observed recently. We're not covered here, just go and search about this golden tiger and add into this material. Okay. Now Project Tiger, it was launched in 1973. At present we have 47 tiger reserves and 80 tiger range states. Very factual information. Mostly if a factual come, it can be wrong. So you should have at least the range of numbers it is. If 100 is asked, you should know it is not 100, it is somewhere near to 50. 47 tiger reserves we have in 18 tiger range states. Administrating bodies, National Tiger Conservation Authority, NTCA. And what kind of a body it is? It is a statutory body under which act? Wildlife Protection Act 1972. This body was established in 2005 under the amendment of the above said act. Now there is a Global Tiger Initiative, GTI. It is led by 13 tiger range countries. So which countries you expect in this? If I ask you a question like which all countries are a part of this Global Tiger Initiative, which all different countries you expect here? At least those countries in the Southeast Asia should be part of it. If Bangladesh is there, I will definitely take that. If Myanmar is there, there is high chance I can take that, because we have Sundarbans, these tigers are there. Northeast also these tigers are there, so it can be there also. Mostly Southeast Asian countries are there. I mostly expect those countries to be a part of it. Let's see which all countries are there. India is there, Bangladesh is there, Bhutan, Cambodia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Nepal, Russia, Thailand, Vietnam, China and Indonesia. Here only exception you can find is Russia, China also, but that China's range is nearby, so China also, only Russia is an exception. Rest all these countries are South Asian countries including India and China. Okay, now there is a Global Tiger Forum. This was established in 1993. Brings together, this was mainly a national government, sovereign governments are being a part of this. Global Tiger Initiative. Now, Global Tiger Forum means it brings together not just governments, but so many other stakeholders like private bodies, regulatory bodies, and all this will come together. Expert bodies, all this come together and discuss what is the XYZ solution for tiger conservation. India is a founding member of Global Tiger Forum. So that's all about tigers. Move ahead. Fishing cat is the next species. Where you expect this species is from? Don't read there and tell me. Okay, we did fishing cat in the current affairs classes. So fishing cat, where it is a cat species. Tiger is also a cat species. Fishing means it will be associated with some water bodies. It can be in the coastal regions mostly. So Sundarbans is one of the most prominent area where you find this fishing cat. It's a nocturnal animal. Foothills of Ganges and Brahmaputra also has this fishing cat. Western Ghats also have some population of this fishing cat. IUCN status is endangered. Cities is Appendix 2. Wildlife protection Schedule 1 protection is extended to this. Lisu Vrun Babbler. Now this we did in the last recent class. In Saturday class, this Saturday class. What we done, how we solved this question? This has been a new Vrun Babbler species that is found from Arunachal Pradesh. How we solved that question is, Lisu, in that question it was given that it was a tribal, after a tribal community, this species has been named. So Lisu is a name of a tribal community, and from the name it suggests that it is mostly a Christian tribal community. Christian tribal communities are mostly present in India in northeast regions. So that's how I apply some of our basic knowledge and solve this question. So Lisu is a tribal from Arunachal Pradesh, and with respect to this tribal community, this species has been named. It is discovered from Arunachal Pradesh Lisu community, and this is the XYZ species we are talking about.
That fishing cat is a state animal of West Bengal.
Fishing cat is state animal of West Bengal. Okay. Good. Go ahead. Next species we have is spiny horntail. What exactly is horntail? Here what you have to know is, so many times some species name will be given. Then you have to identify in ABCD, it will be an insect, or it will be a butterfly, it will be a dragonfly. So horntail is mostly associated with, what is this? Dragonfly. And where you find dragonflies in India? Dragonflies are distributed throughout in India, but most highest distribution you found in the Western Ghats regions of it. Discovered in Maharashtra in 2022, endemic to Western Ghats region. A rare dragonfly, spiny horntail. Horntail is associated with dragonfly. Dragonfly in India, if you look at this, it is found in Himalayas, plains, southern peninsular region, most of the regions of the countries. Around 400 species of dragonflies are found in India. Mostly they are dependent on freshwater ecosystem. These are some examples: common skimmer, crimson marsh glider, black-tailed skimmer. What you have to keep here is, read this 2, 3, 4 times such that if a skimmer name is there, if a glider name is there, at least identify that this can be a dragonfly species. Now very interesting, Pokali paddy cultivation. Where it is done? It is mostly done in Kerala, and what is news, it is being experimented in West Bengal also. And what is speciality of Pokali rice cultivation? Below the sea level region it is cultivated, and if it is cultivated below the sea level region, what is the characteristics of this region? Kuttanad region is famous for this, Kuttanad in Alappuzha. Now what is speciality? It is a below sea level region. So what is the speciality? What do you expect if a certain region is below sea level? Whenever rain happens, all water will flow into this region and this region will be flooded. So this particular category of rice or paddy cultivation will have capacity to withstand the constant flooding. Secondly, there can be salt water also coming into these areas, because in Kerala you mostly expect backwaters. What are these backwaters? Backwaters are not fully saline, but it is a mixture of fresh water and saline water. The saline content will not be as high as oceans, but it will not be as low as estuaries and other rivers. So there will be some mixture of this. So these backwaters will also flow into this region. So this is done in this Alapura region also, where the backwaters are quite famous. So this should have high resistance to flooding, high resistance to salt water resistance will be also characteristics of this. Done in Alapura, Ernakulam and Thrissur districts of Kerala. Recently GI tag has been granted to this. Promotes climate resilient agriculture. How? Because all this salt water resilience, this sea level is rising. So in West Bengal and other part of the countries, this is in requirement. Whitilla 11, that is one of the recent varieties of Pokali rice that has been developed recently. What else? Neelakurni. What is Neelakurni? Where it is found? Western Ghats. In Western Ghats, where? You have visited this Munnar area. You have visited Munnar. Where is Munnar? Munnar is in Kerala. So if you visit this place itself is famous for this Neelakurni. When it blossoms, it become a hot spot of tourists. And why it is so speciality regarding this? It blossoms in once in a 12 years. And when it blossoms, the whole hill regions will be covered with these flowers. So when it is very rare, then if it blossoms, the whole region becomes like a valley of flowers type of region. That's why it's being tourist attraction. And where exactly you find this? We already told we're finding this in Western Ghats. In Western Ghats where? Shola forest of Western Ghats. What is Shola forest? We discussed it. Palian tribes of Tamil Nadu is also associated with it. Some part of Eastern Ghats also have this Neelakurni population, not fully Western Ghats. Other point is this is classified as endangered, and mostly this is endemic to this lower part of Western Ghats only. Now what is exactly is Shola forest? They are stunted forest, evergreen montane forest in high altitudes of Western Ghats. Mostly it is found in a 1500 to 2500 meters altitude. Very dense population, standard trees will be there. Thick undergrowth of bamboo and shrubs will be also present there. So many like endemic species, only special, like only limited to Western Ghats kind of species you find in this region. Some examples are Nilgiri tahar, lion-tailed macaque, Nilgiri langur, Malabar giant squirrel, and all these you find in this Shola forest. Sela macaque. This is a new species of old world monkey recorded from Arunachal Pradesh. What exactly is old world? Old world species means what? We had a UPSC question which crop has been introduced from old world into new world. What exactly is old world species and new world species? Explorers, if there is known to them, then that is new world species. No, not known to explorer, that is old world species. Mostly old world species are associated with species in Eastern Hemisphere. That is species in Africa, Europe and Asia subcontinent. If that is that species we call it as old world species. Those species which is limited to this South America and North America, that species we call it as new world species. Now this is an old world species monkey from Arunachal Pradesh, Sala macaque. Major cause of crop loss in West Kameng district. Details of this monkey you can read here, not monkey, macaque. Apis carinjondian. What is this? It is a species of honeybee. And honeybee depends on what all factors. Where you expect honeybees to find? Honeybees are depending on flowers, and those areas where there is availability of plenty of flowers is available, there you find these honeybees. And where the flowers are available, throughout in Western Ghats throughout you can see flowers. In Eastern Ghats also you see flowers. Not in grasslands. Central Western Ghats is this, especially this species of honeybee is found. Nilgiri, Southern Western Ghats, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, everywhere it is found. IUCN status is near threatened. Indian black hole honeybee discovered after a gap of 200 years. In 1880s it was earlier discovered. Now we discovered it after a huge gap rediscovered in recent past. Soliga incarnata. What is this? This is a wasp species from Karnataka. These are only seen in, what is this, Palearctic region, Neotropical region and Nearctic regions. Not going too much into it. Soliga Devanasa Soliga community from Karnataka. Basically, it lives in Bilgiri Rangan Hills or BR Hills. From this is specialty of this is a confluence of Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. When the confluence is there, the area will act as an ecotone and it will have huge diversity of species. Where is other region you have this confluence? Nilgiri forest, Nilgiri National Park is also having confluence of Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Now, Eudiscopus denticulus. This is a newly found species of disc-footed bat. Bat species, you can find him here, how small he is. Discovered from where you find bat species in India? Mostly in caves, mostly in dense forest regions. So in Western Ghats, in Kerala, all these areas are hotspot of bats, as well as this northeast part of northeastern states. So this bat, Eudiscopus denticulus, this has been discovered from Meghalaya. Why bats are being a hotspot of viruses?
Because they directly feed on the bunches. So because they feed on fruits. Fruits are ingested by humans.
There are 2-3 reasons. One reason is they live on exotic regions. They live above the plants, above huge trees, or inside the caves. So if these areas are having some viruses, they capture it. Secondly, they feed on fruits, so much of wild fruits. If the virus is there on the fruits, also they capture it. Third reason is these are living in those exotic places where human interaction is very less. So if a virus is there on bat's body, throughout the evolution phase, it may not entered into human part. So human resistivity or human immunity towards those virus that is present in bat will be very less. What is one more reason?
Because it is not China, it is being eaten.
People has been eating it or coming into contact with bats. That is also one of the factors creating issues for this. So mostly if you see a bat, it will be somewhere in the tropical forest. Either it will be in the Western Ghats region or it will be in the northeast regions of the country. Now consider this Glycropus meghalenus. So two different bat species has been discovered recently from Meghalaya. This is a bamboo dwelling species from Reboy district of Meghalaya, discovered from Nongkailam Wildlife Sanctuary. So here also when discussing the species, we come across different wildlife sanctuaries, different national parks, tiger reserves and all this. So you keep a India map with you, or you keep a XYZ, take a note of all these places in news and identify at least from which state this XYZ sanctuary is there. Okay, this I am not completely covering under this, I expect you to do on your own. Next species is Melusa agasthyamala. Now this is easy to identify where this is from because within the name there is agasthyamala. Where is agasthyamala? In southern part of the lowest part of this Western Ghats. So this is what it is. It is a new species of evergreen tree. It is a tree, nothing else. So if a question comes from this, it cannot be from where it is because it's already evident in the name. It can only ask what kind of species is it. Is it a spider or a bat or a tree? So it is a evergreen tree from this Agasthyamala Biosphere Reserve, endemic to southern parts of Western Ghats. Tree grow up to 6 to 9 meters height and all. This will be fruits and photos associated with this. Now Agasthyamala National Park, what you have to study is the map of this Western Ghats distribution in the lower part. Agasthyamala is the lowest part of this. Above it comes the Periyar National Park. Above it we have Annamalai Palani National Park. Then Nilampur Palakkad National Park. This Nilagiri and all will come under this part. So this is the like order. Nilgiri is above, more above this. So this is the order of from Bandipur National Park, Mudumalai, Nilgiris, Eastern Ghats. So this order, if question is coming from, arrange it from north to south direction or south to north direction, then you should be able to identify it. Agasthyamala is in the lowermost part of this Western Ghats ranges. Rest details you can read from here. Next species is Western Hollow Gibbon. What is it? It is one of the ape species from India. Which all ape species are available in India? Most of the ape species are not available in India. We find some macacus, we find some very rare number of species, Hollow Gibbon and all. Eastern Hollow Gibbon is available at some part in India, but mostly Eastern and Western. Mostly these are limited coverage is available in India. This is also called white brown gibbons or Hollow gibbons. These live in dense forests from India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and possibly Tibet. Northeast area is the major inhibiting ground for this. They are only 8 species native to Indian subcontinent. Very small group, up to 6 duets, last up to 20 minutes and can be heard miles away. Their IUCN status is endangered, and cities Appendix 1 and Wildlife Protection Act Schedule 1 it is being categorized. Eastern Hollow Gibbon, that is not available in India. Here the IUCN status is vulnerable. And this is the range map you can see here. Very small range in the northeast part of the countries where you find this. Nilgiri Tahar, you already discussed about him. What is specialty of him? It is endemic to Nilgiri mountains or the Western Ghats. It is a state animal of Tamil Nadu, endemic to Western Ghats. It inhabits in this Shola forest we discussed earlier, open mountain grassland habitats, elevation 1200 to 2600 meters in the southern parts of Western Ghats. Its IUCN status is endangered cities Appendix 1 and it comes under Wildlife Protection Act Schedule 1 species. Nilgiri Tahar. This Nilakurunyi, it is coming from Munnar regions. So in that same region you can find this Nilgiri Tahar also. Montane forest is a part of this ecosystem.
So that is why it's called Nilgiri. Nilgiri
Uh-huh.
is mountain.
Nilgiri means this whole southern part of Western Ghats is being called Nilgiri. Indian giant squirrel. Now this is also a species from this Western Ghats species. It is state animal of Maharashtra. It is also called Shekru. Now sometime called Malabar giant squirrel. Where exactly is Malabar? It is a middle part of the Kerala. This Malabar is there. We discussed in last, some question was also there. So it is also found in those endemic to India. It is arboreal species. What does it mean? It mostly live on the trees and branches. Diurnal means it will be active at night always, night as well as day. Omnivorous means it will be eating plants as well as insect and other animals, small animals also. Lives in moist tropical forest of peninsular India. Range from Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Gujarat, Kerala, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu. Whole southern range states are there. Conservation status is least concern. Cities Appendix 2, Wildlife Protection Act Schedule 2 species it is. This is how it looks. Now we have golden langur. Were you expecting? Were you expecting? Northeast, like we already find the other ape species also in northeast. So all these most kind of species are in coming from northeast itself. It is also called golden leaf monkeys. Occur in Bhutan, northeast India, Assam state, limited to fragmented distribution. Rare and shy species, only 6,000 to 6,500 mature individuals are there. They seldom leave their safety canopy except when forced to behave, threatened by this all habitat fragmentation, climate change and all this. Flying squirrel, what is it? Very interesting species. It actually doesn't fly. It actually glide over from one branch to other or one tree to other. So it looks like it is flying. And how it does this is using a special organ called pentalium. This is the species. It is a nocturnal omnivorous species. In India, we have 70 species of flying squirrels. 14 are in the northeast. IUCN, no IUCN status is associated with this. This is the flying squirrel. So that is the end of tropical forest or tropical species that is being induced. Now next we are going into deciduous or grassland type of species. Let's do some species in this class itself. We are starting with bears in India. Bears are non-omnivorous solitary animals. Where you expect bears to happen?
Himalayas, Central India.
Mostly the bears are in this Himalayan belt and northeast India. But only one species of bear, that is sloth bear. Sloth bear is a bear that is adapted to Indian subcontinental conditions. So sloth bear you can find in huge other part of the country also, like in Western Ghats, in all other part of the country you can see the sloth bear. All other species of bear you find mostly limited to Himalayas or northeastern India, like Asiatic black bear you find only in this range. Brown bear is only there in this Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh region, and this sun bear is there in this lower part of the northeast region only. Sloth bear is a bear which is adapted to Indian subcontinent condition. It is there throughout the country. Its distribution is there throughout the country. Now, if you look at the IUCN status, all 4 bear species that is listed here are deemed to be vulnerable in IUCN status, and Schedule 1 protection of wildlife protection as act is granted to them. Sloth bear is also vulnerable. Yes, yes, yes. But now it is banned. That is also banned. Action plan for reintroduction of cheetah. This is a very important topic, at least for this year prelims. If any question comes from where the cheetahs came, which national park it is being reintroduced, or all this kind of question, like which national park it is being introduced, Kuno National Park, which state it is, Madhya Pradesh. Now go and just Google the Kuno National Park, study everything about it, which are the nearby areas, which are the major rivers flowing through this, which hills are there in the northern side of it, southern side of it, exact geographical information about this Kuno National Park, you should be aware of it. Now cheetahs, what is the status of cheetahs in India? Earlier there will be huge number of cheetahs, now they are become extinct. They are become extinct in the 20th century. Now what from 1970s, there has been talks between government of India and other countries. While what India has is Asiatic lions. So India was trying to exchange Asiatic lions with cheetahs. But somehow the project doesn't materialize, and the first set of cheetahs came in last year, 2022, which date September 17. What is specialty of that date? Whose birthday it is? So 8 cheetahs came on September 17, 2022. After that, in February 2023, we have another set of 12 set of cheetahs came from this. First set of cheetahs came from Namibia. Second set of cheetahs came from South Africa. Mostly all these countries are at the lower part of this African continent. Now cheetah, what is specialty of this? They run very fast at 113 km/h speed. That is absolute fast they can acquire. Now how these other species escape from this? How deer escape this huge speed of this cheetah? Deer and prey species. This 113 here, it cannot run for longer time. It can run for only a very small short period of time. It can keep this high speed. Secondly, if at this high speed, it cannot change the direction frequently. This deer and all can change the direction very swiftly, and they try to escape these cheetahs. So how cheetah became extinct? That means when Rajas were there, they were killing the cheetahs for fun or for hunting, show their bravery and all this. Secondly, when British came, they also killed for bravery. Beyond that, they took the cheetahs, captured and exported for this circus and other applications. They also use this exported cheetahs for this. Due to all this, by 20th century, India was a hub of cheetahs has been, and cheetahs become extinct from India. Now you can find this Neolithic art, Mughal art, all these have representation of cheetahs. From 1970s, India started negotiation with Iran to bring Asiatic cheetah to India in exchange of Asiatic lion. Now this Asiatic cheetah is available in only seen in a few population is there in Iran. That is the only available Asiatic cheetahs in the natural habitat. Now the plan was materialized in 17 September 2022. 18 Feb 2023, we have second batch of cheetahs has arrived. So these are all basic facts. You can pause the video and go through it. What all are the specific characteristics of this? Both these came from this lower part of the South Africa, one from Namibia and second from South Africa. Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh has been selected as the site for reintroduction of cheetahs. These are other possible sites for reintroduction of cheetah like Shahgar Bulge in Rajasthan, Muguntara Tiger Reserve, Naura Dehi Wildlife Sanctuary in Madhya Pradesh, Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary in Madhya Pradesh. These are other potential sites for reintroduction of cheetahs. What exactly you consider when reintroducing cheetahs?
First, there should be enough grassland.
Prey base should be there so that they can hunt, and secondly there should be a long, it should not be very small or fragmented reserve. It should not be dense forest also. There should be spacious with enough grasslands and prey base is there available. That's why most of this translocation is happening in Madhya Pradesh. Now, Indian peninsular wolf or Canis lupus pallis. That is the scientific name of it. If you want to learn, you can learn it. In 2023, 10 captively bred wolves were released in Gujarat, the first time in India. Because wolves conservation, there has been criticism on this because we are least concerned about wolves criticism, like wolves conservation compared to tigers, lions, and all this. They are also facing threats due to various XYZ factors. IUCN status is endangered. Highest concentration is found in Madhya Pradesh, 772 wolves, and most of the other states in southern subcontinent or the peninsular India does has this wolf population. It is given Schedule 1 protection under Wildlife Protection Act, and there are two wolves available in India. One is Indian peninsular wolf, other is Himalayan wolf. Himalayan wolves is also having endangered status of this. This is the Himalayan wolves, the number is slightly higher compared to this peninsular wolves that is available. This is also called grey wolves. Peninsular wolves are also called grey wolves. That's all. Himalayan wolves you can read from the information that is given in your material. Not covering too much of this. They're in the peninsular states mostly distribution.
They are not the highest carnivore.
They're not the highest carnivore. Highest carnivore will be given to this tiger, leopard, and all this. They are also being eaten by this leopard, tiger, and all. Shisham tree. What is Shisham tree? Well known for furnitures. This is a North Indian rosewood. It is also called native to Indian subcontinent and southern Iran. Large tree with long leathery leaves and pink whitish flowers, classified as hardwood. Highly sought after in the timber market. This is the XYZ tree. Now comes very important species that is too much important for this year prelims, that is Asiatic lions. Government has agreed to another sanctuary for Asiatic lions apart from current Gir National Park. Where is Gir National Park? Gir National Park is in Gujarat. Currently the only place where you find the Asiatic lions in their natural habitat is Gir National Park. And there has been project for transferring some of the Gir National Park lions to other national parks in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and all. And Gujarat government has been resisting this. Why? Lions in this XYZ National Park is major attraction for tourists into this Gir National Park. So, but somehow there has to be some translocation happening because this Gir National Park is already getting overcrowded with the lion population. And only one national park, it become more vulnerable. So recently the government has taken up the initiative to transfer some of the lions from Gir National Park to Bada Wildlife Sanctuary. This is also in Gujarat itself. So at least something is happening even though it is in Gujarat itself. About 40 lions are being prepared to ferry their new about According to 2020 census, we have 674 lions in Gujarat, which is 29% increase from 2015 numbers. Like, this is why this Gir National Park is getting overcrowded with lions. Gir is the home to world's only Asiatic lion population and only place outside the African subcontinent to have a population of lion prancing around in their natural habitat. So the numbers, if you can see, from 284 we have increased currently to 674. They are like attacking the nearby areas, and human animal conflict issues are also coming around these Gir National Park areas. Now next we have Indian bison or Indian bison. Why it is in news? Because Sri Lanka has asked for translocating some of the bisons to Sri Lanka. It has become extinct in Sri Lanka in the 17th century. Now bison, or it is in locally it is called gaur. It is the tallest species of wild cattle and largest extant bovine species. Around 30,000 gaurs are there in the world. Approximately 85% of the gaur population is in India itself. They are native to South and Southeast Asia, found in Burma and Thailand, found in Nagar National Park in Karnataka, Bandipur National Park, Karnataka itself, Masinagudi National Park in Tamil Nadu, and Giriranga Hills or BR Hills in Karnataka. BR Hills is in Karnataka itself. So in the southern region, just above this Karnataka Tamil Nadu juncture, you find the most of the population of bison or gaur population. That has to be checked. Its IUCN status is vulnerable and it is extended Schedule 1 protection under this. Now, Indian boar species, also known as Andamanese pig or Mopin pig. This is the species which I discussed in the first class. Like, recently what happened is Kerala government empowered local bodies to cull wild boars that pose a threat to agricultural crops and human life. What you have to understand here is state government doesn't have to right to categorize a species as vermin. And what vermin, to declare a species as vermin, under which schedule it will be? Fourth schedule. So if a species has to be declared vermin under fourth schedule of Wildlife Protection Act, the right is with central government. Central government does this on recommendation of the state government. Now what will do a state government do if even after recommendation central government is not ready to declare the species as a vermin? That happened in this case. In this case, central government doesn't declare the species as vermin. Then Kerala invoked another law under the Wildlife Protection Act, Section 11B, which empowers Chief Wildlife Warden (CWW) to issue orders regarding killing of these animals, permitting killing of these animals under certain circumstances. So in Kerala government, the right has been not given to the people but to local bodies to cull wild boars that pose a threat to agriculture crops and human life. So this Indian boar it is a nocturnal omnivorous animal native to India, Nepal, Myanmar, Western Thailand and Sri Lanka. Throughout the subcontinent it is available, or it is having ecosystem throughout subcontinent. So IUCN status is least concern.
They were airlifted from across India and they were spread across the Kutch, that region, to eat whatever remains of humans and animals are there.
So great application. This has been used during the Gujarat earthquakes. There has been allowed to roam around after the remains of this earthquake, so that anything left over will be eaten up by these animals. So that's all for this class. Rest we'll discuss in the second class from Great Indian Bustard. That's all for now. Thank you so much.